the bank you visit. Answer your phone, son. This is your boy, Matt Pittman. I'm taking over this month.
Hi, welcome to Live with Barb and Ray.
You're Ray and I'm Barb.
Okay, we got it.
We got
Nailed
it right. I want to start, first of all, what is today? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. We're live. We're live at the association. And we never talk about this at all, but Ray always has cool socks on. What socks do you have on today?
Okay.
You're not flexible enough to put your leg up here.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to, show us. Avocado socks.
Yeah, don't go full length. What if I was only wearing shorts today? I'm going to do that next time. I'm going to have the suit from here up and just board shorts and flip-flops on from here down.
Please don't.
I'll do it.
I'm sure you will. All right, guys, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We have some important things to talk about, and we're just going to get right into it. But first, before we start, did you notice who got his cup? And we hear that in his last episode, he turned our cups upside down. So we're going to turn his cup upside down.
Yep.
John, sorry, we're special. We have 2 cups, and you only have 1
If
cup.
we had a mic, we'd be dropping it right now.
Yeah, drop the mic. Anyways, okay, so first and foremost, I want to bring to your attention and thank our members. Hopefully all of you responded to the red alert put out by CAR and PWR for AB 1482. Now,
first I want to actually say, if you didn't do it, I think a lot of agents see this email and they go, oh, it's so much work. The email that comes, it says, open it up for the red alert. And it gives you instructions right there. Call this 800 number, and they are going to automatically put you through to your assemblyman or your senator.
Yep.
And when they answer the phone, it's just a staff member. And let's pretend, let's do the phone call.
Let's do it.
We didn't prep for this, but
yeah, let's do
hi,
it.
This is Assemblyman Chen's office.
Hi, I'm a realtor in your, I guess you would call it, constituent area. Mm-hmm. I'm a realtor in your area, and I really need Assemblymember Chen to vote no on AB 1482.
Okay.
It's not good for housing, and it's not the answer to our housing situation.
Okay, thank you. You said your name was Barbara. What's your zip code?
90815.
Okay, thank you. I will mark it down, and we will let him know.
Yep.
Done.
That's how it happens.
It's that easy.
It is that easy. Now, I sounded really rusty saying it because I'm a key contact for my assembly member, so I call him personally and speak to him personally on behalf of Pacific West and California Association of Realtors. But if you were just a realtor calling into your assembly member or your senator, that is exactly how the call goes. It's very painless. Mm-hmm. They document it, and we have plenty of people on staff at PWR and other members who have told us they've worked for assembly members in their offices, and the assembly members and senators actually look at these numbers and look at these records of phone calls before they go to the floor to vote. It does make a difference. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we were not successful in defeating this, and it has been approved and put through by our Senate and our Assembly. It has not been signed yet, I don't believe. However, it's going to be signed. It is a big lose for California homeowners. It's a big lose, frankly, for California renters. And what we need you all to know is that, number one, PWR sent out an email, I believe it was yesterday, with a graphic list of all of the electeds in California in Pacific West service area that did vote no. If your assembly member or senator is on that list, please thank them. Thank them for voting no on AB 1482, and thank them for supporting private property rights and homeownership. That's number one. But number two, get yourself educated. We now are going to have statewide rent control, and there's nothing we can do at this point to change it except for educate ourselves. So what do you suggest they do? Because this is going to affect us on appointments.
Well, if it's crazy questions you're getting from your seller, it's going to mainly be somebody wanting to sell property or buy property. It could be either or.
Absolutely be buying a property,
and they're going to ask you questions. Well, how does this new rent control affect
me?
What I want to do?
Yep.
We all need to read up. It's hard to say we have because it just passed.
It just passed, yeah.
Asking us questions about, how does this affect now? We really don't know just yet. We know it's a 5% increase per year plus CPI.
Yep.
And,
which currently is about 8%.
Single-family residents and condos don't apply. They're might
excluded.
Be a caveat in there. There's going to be lots of caveats and loopholes and this and that. And so we have to learn. We have to figure it out.
Frankly, I don't even think our legislature even knows what they passed. That's the sad part. If you ask many of them, they don't even understand exactly what they passed and what it means and what the effect's going to be.
They're just helping renters, which
it doesn't
they're doing
help
the
renters.
exact opposite.
You know, I've already spoken to some, and members at our association have spoken to some landlords who have literally come out and said, thank you, state of California. You gave me permission to raise my rents 8% every year.
Yeah.
When I never would have raised rents before, or I would have raised them very nominally.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate for renters. And it's unfortunate, obviously, for property owners. But the thing I want to talk about is how it's going to affect our transactions. So in 2020, when all of this becomes official, you're going to have to understand that if you have someone buying a property and they ask you a question about the tenant that's currently in that property and, well, how quickly can I get them out? You need to be educated on the laws behind that or refer them to a landlord-tenant attorney. The other thing is, think about this. I was speaking to John Giardinelli, our association counsel, the other day, and he brought up that if a seller rents back in a unit, depending on the situation and the ownership and the number of units and all that kind of stuff, if they rent back past 30 days, they're now a tenant. And so how does that affect our contracts?
Yeah.
These are all things that we're not capable of answering for you, but we're going to have association training definitely in 2020. And I really don't want to plug John's rants, but apparently his next rant is going to be about Apparently, his next rant is going to be about AB 1482 and how it's going to affect our real estate transactions, because ultimately, the association, that's what we care about. We care about your ability to practice real estate and how you perform those, transactions.
And going back to your question about someone asking you, okay, when I close escrow on this property, how do I get them out? We actually kind of know the answer on that is
Good
now
luck.
There's just cause eviction. So the only way to get a tenant out is if they don't pay their rent or they do something illegal. That's what passed as part of this. So that means if you buy a property and you want to live in one of the units,
depending on the situation.
yeah. It's just going to be, I think the solution is probably paying people to move out, but then
it's going to be relocation fees and other things.
And so it's just,
all we can say is get yourself educated. Well, so not only get yourself educated, but when we put out the education in 2020 and there's education on this, come, attend, show up. It's going to be extremely important that you understand how this is going to change in 2020. The good news is that I think it's perfect timing, though, because I don't know if we haven't even talked this much about this, but CAR already has the first drafts out of the new 2021 technically purchase agreement. Mm-hmm. It'll be live December of 2020, so we still have a full year. I've seen a sneak peek draft. It is 100% different.
wow.
I believe in a good way. A lot of good things.
Is it like 5 pages longer?
It's, I think, 1 page longer.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
But remember, guys, anytime CAR adds stuff to our contract, it's to help us and to help our clients. So don't look at it as a bad thing. And honestly, the reason it's a little bit longer is that what I can share is they're proposed to put all of the summary of every part that has a deadline or a contract date on the first page. So your contingencies, your deposits, your everything's on the first.
I made that
page.
suggestion in the forms committee a couple
think,
years ago.
You think it was it was a result of you?
People know that story. Yep. It's all me.
You know what? I don't know if it's all you, but I'll give you a little bit of credit. But that just shows that the forms committee at CAR is actually doing good work and hard work. So I've seen it. It's going to be completely different, foreign language. We'll have training on it. But the good news is I think this is perfect timing for all of this AB 1482 to be going through. So if they're already adjusting the purchase agreement, they can hopefully put the things in that we need to help us through these things. So. CAR Reimagine coming up next week at LA Live.
This is the first time, I think,
ever.
Right?
Yep, first time ever. It's been downtown LA.
Mm-hmm. And looking forward to it. So this is good for all of you guys watching to come on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Yep.
And there's going to be tons of classes, panels, speakers.
Yep.
Just a big show.
It is, and the Reimagine will be at the Convention Center. Tuesday they're calling them master classes, and those are the paid ones. They're like $99 for an all day. You can do social media, you can do a purchase agreement deep dive, you can do the broker track, and there's one other one. I don't recall what it is. If you'd like a discount code, my code is REIBAR. So Reimagine Bar. So that will get you, I think, 15 or 20% off. I don't remember. It'll get you entered for a $100 Amazon gift card.
I don't have a coupon code.
Because you're not cool like I am.
Oh.
Because you're not a CAR influencer.
Oh.
I really don't like that word, by the way.
Yeah.
But They just think we have influence over people. So
Okay.
go use my code, REIBAR. Wednesday and Thursday are free, though.
Okay.
So you don't need my code for Wednesday and Thursday. And actually, as a realtor member of the California Association of Realtors, you could hypothetically show up to LA Live, the convention center, on Wednesday and just go give them your credentials and you'll get a badge. And you can walk through the expo and go through the classes. I do recommend signing up in advance so you're not waiting in that long line. But Tuesday is paid, Wednesday, Thursday is free, and I highly recommend you guys attend.
Next up, this is a good segue to people always asking, how did you get to where you are in the association? Even yesterday, YPN put on a very filled house downstairs in our education center where I spoke Stephanie and a new agent, Cyrus, who is, I think he'll be chair of YPN next
that's
year.
what they're proposing,
and the talk was about how we built our businesses and how we manage being in leadership at the association. So I think the common thread through that was we all started at what we're about to talk about, is that applications for the grievance committee are going to go out on October 1st.
Yes.
So that's your opportunity for anybody that wants to be more involved in grievances. A lot of fun.
Grievance is interesting, and let me tell you, you learn so much. And you all know my story, and I'm super transparent about it, and I tell any realtor that wants to listen. How I got exposed to the association was I had an ethics case filed against me a very long time ago. It was a very frivolous and very interesting case, and it ended up being fine, and I was, cleared. But going through that process is when Lori Smith tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, would you consider applying for our grievance committee? And my first thought was, you mean that committee that voted on putting me through for a hearing?
Yeah.
However, when I joined it and I understood the process and I understood how important it is, and I have learned so much by being on the grievance committee. And essentially the grievance committee is like a grand jury. They decide if a case is going to go through for a professional standards hearing.
Once a month.
Once a month. We have two committees, so every 2 weeks. That way cases get heard faster. So you either get a committee or a B committee looks at it. And the only bummer about being on grievance, and everyone needs to know this, so if you think you're going to look at a case and then find out the results, it's not how it works.
Yeah.
So you get to review the case and decide if it goes forward. And after it goes forward, everything is...
You never find out what happened.
You'll never
with it.
know any results of what happened. You just have to trust that the people in professional standards who have all gone through the grievance committee. You cannot be on our professional standards committee without first serving, I believe, 3 years on our grievance committee. So we do interviews. We don't take this. This is not just apply and get a spot. This is apply and come in and be interviewed. But it's a great way to start your involvement at the association. I do completely agree with you. And that leads me to October 28th and December 9th. We are going to have finally some code of ethics classes and some code of ethics training. We're finding in grievance and professional standards that it's the number one thing that's not trained on in our industry, that realtors don't think they need to understand it and frankly don't know about it.
Yeah.
And they're going out and they're actually unknowingly violating the code of ethics. And we realize it's all about education. And so we're going to have some code of ethics classes and training so you can come in and understand your code of ethics better. And this will be taught with live examples of actual things that you may be doing on a consistent basis in violating your code of ethics and not even realizing it. So this isn't just going to be reading the code of ethics. This isn't going to be a quiz on the code of ethics. It's going to be, how does the code of ethics intertwine with our business on a daily basis?
Yep.
So I'm excited about that.
Have you ever said, I didn't know I couldn't do that?
Oh my goodness,
That's-
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
In grievance committee, guys, we'll read cases and someone will say, oh my gosh, I've done that before. So
Yeah.
it's all about education. It's all about getting you guys better at what you do. And then November 21st, we're going to have a Procuring cause class with Brian Polinsky from CAR. And we've talked a little bit about this before and about, I don't think our realtors understand enough that their commissions, if they can unknowingly work with someone who had a relationship with another realtor, even if there wasn't a contract in place, and still possibly lose their commission.
The whole procuring cause, even for me, still confuses me. I call you all the time. What do you think of this situation?
Yeah. It is very confusing because it's not black and white.
Yeah.
Because it's not enough to just have it to make sure that they don't have something in writing with another realtor. If they've already, think about this, if they've already seen a property with another realtor. So Ray, you're a big listing agent. I'm gonna give you an example because we talk about this.
Yep.
You get a phone call, okay? Buyer Smith calls you, Mr. Smith calls you and wants to see your listing. You're going to, of course, meet him at the listing. And you're probably going to ask on the phone, are you working with an agent? And he's going to say no.
Yeah.
And you're going to show up to the property. And then at the property, if you're smart, you're going to ask a few more questions. How long have you been looking? What are you guys looking for? Have you worked with a realtor before? And they say, oh, yeah, we were working with another realtor, but they weren't doing a good job for us, and we're not interested in using them anymore. And most agents will stop at that. And that's the problem. Let's say you stop at that, and you don't ask the following questions. One, does the agent know you're not interested in working with them anymore? And two, the number one question I've learned to ask is, have you seen this property before? Okay, so if you don't ask that question, and Mr. Smith has seen your listing before, and you don't know because agents have shown your listing and you may not be there, and Mr. Smith has already seen it with ABC Realtor sits in the background, knows that Mr. Smith bought your listing, you represented him, closed the deal, and 3 or 4 months later, ABC Realtor files the claim, and they can prove that that realtor showed that property and introduced them to that property and was the procuring cause on why they were brought to that property and why they liked the property to begin with because you didn't ask the questions. And you can see how easy this ends up in a very sticky situation.
Yeah.
It's a snowball effect, and it just comes from not asking the right questions. And it's not that realtors are ignorant to it. They just don't know to ask.
Yeah.
And that's what this training will do. CAR has a great A/B test on procuring cause. It's like if this, then that. And it's questions, and does it favor the agent who wrote the offer or the agent who didn't write the offer, right? But it's not about like who has the most points at the end. That's not how we do it. It's with all those facts combined. And you just don't want to end up in those situations.
Yeah, I need to go to this class too because I look at that situation because that's probably happened to me a lot.
It probably has, and you may not have even known it.
I look at that as when you're going to talk procuring cause, I was the procuring cause because that agent at the end of the day didn't procure an offer.
I know.
And those people didn't want to work with him for whatever reason. Then they come to me. I don't feel, and I like almost disagree with some of the stuff you said. Like, I don't feel like I should have to pry on a buyer when I say, are you working with an agent? And they tell me no. But understanding like there's so much legality to everything we do.
And the biggest thing is the consumer isn't responsible for the commission. The consumer can tell you whatever they want.
Yeah.
And so I think what it comes down to is understanding that, you know, all it takes is a phone call to that other agent to be like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith came to me. I understand you already showed them my listing. What happened? What's the situation? You may get the agent saying, John Jarnelli explains this so well. The agent could say, oh my gosh, they're so difficult to deal with. Thank goodness. Like, just sell them the house, right? Then you're like, okay, maybe offer them a referral fee to make sure it all smooths over. The agent could say, oh, wow, I was just waiting for the pre-approval letter to come back from the lender. I thought I was writing the offer tonight. Then you know you have a problem.
Yes.
And that's what I mean is let's ask questions. Let's be courteous to each other and understand this is a cooperative broker marketplace and our job's to cooperate. It's not that you're stealing a client. You didn't do anything wrong. You asked the right questions. It's just maybe you didn't ask enough questions. Okay. So I think that's why we're bringing him in because there is so much confusion regarding it. And ultimately, because of the way our code of ethics is set up, it's ultimately in the hands of a panel of your peers. Yeah. And you don't know which way that's going to go. Yep. So, and that brings me to my last thing that John talked about that we really give him too much credit on this show, but as much as we make fun of John's rants, he is actually really smart. Oh, yeah. We love him. John, we love you. But this brings me to why he recommends that we use these buyer broker agreements. And I fight it, and I don't like using it either, but the BRNN and the BRNE are both not for compensation. And what they do is they just lay out what our expectations are as buyer agents and what can be expected from us to the buyer and the buyer to us. Mm-hmm. And the BRNN is not for compensation and non-exclusive. And the BRNE is just non-exclusive. Okay. And if you look through the BRNN, it's actually really good because it even talks about what we're going to do to prep offers and what we're going to do to help them select a property and what we're going to do to, just help them decide on an offering price.
How long? How many pages? Is it?
They're like 2 pages or 3 pages.
Okay.
But what I actually like about it is, like John said, a buyer could sue us whether or not we went into a contract or not. They could feel like we didn't work hard enough. They could feel like they didn't get the house because of us. They could have expected us to go pull permits. Where do we put in writing before we write a contract with a buyer that we're not going to do those things? Yeah. Where does it say to the buyer, hey, I'm not going to go pull permits on your property? I'm not going to determine your asking price. You're going to determine it with my information. Like, where do we explain that to a client before we actually write an offer? And that's what these documents do.
Okay.
So to save you on procuring cause, those would be good things to have in hand.
All right. So what day did you say the procuring cause?
That is November 21st. So look for your email for all these. And then we got 2 more exciting events before we wrap up.
So which one's first? This one is first. October 11th. We've talked about it before. It's the Beer and Wine Festival. It's here at the association. Uber to this, please, because
Just for parking
well,
alone.
parking's pretty tough, and it's a lot of fun. The vendors will set up booths around the parking lot. You get to go talk to each vendor. They've got their, it sounds funny, their alcohol in brown paper bags, and they give you samples of it. And at the end of the night, you vote on which vendor brought the best alcohol. And there's hors d'oeuvres, there's raffle prizes, tons of networking, get to meet the people that work here. This is a lot of fun. And that's Friday, October 11th at 5:30. And what a lot of agents who have been coming for years, now they bring their clients with them. Like this is really a big deal. It's
our
a lot
CEO
of
brings
fun.
his whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
So he brings all his friends. I love it.
Bring friends with you.
Yeah.
Call up some friends, and it's charity. This is a good opportunity just to build your own business.
Absolutely.
Some clients you haven't seen in a while, invite them to a fun event at your association. So we got that. Then we also
I'm
have
so excited about this.
the 2019 PWR legal update. This is on Tuesday, October 22nd, and it's at the Long Beach Marriott. We have 4 great speakers. We have Terry Watson. He's a motivational speaker. Google him, and you'll find out all about him. And then we're going to have kind of panel style where each speaker is going to talk for a while, and then we're going to do questions and answers with Art Carter, who's the CEO at CRMLS, John Giardinelli, who we're always messing with, and Carlo H. Banky. Is that how you say it?
Banky or Bonky.
And he's a special investigator and deputy commissioner for the DRE. So,
I'm so excited to have him. Yeah. I mean, I love me some John and Art, but this guy, I mean, he's an investigator at the DRE, and we need to know because they're not messing around right now.
And come prepared with your questions. During the event, we will have a text link that you can text your questions to, and then I will get up on stage with the iPad. Your questions will come in, and I can ask all the speakers the questions. So it's an easier way than going to a mic and people not being able to hear what you're saying.
And most importantly, it's free. But we've got a little bit of I'm gonna do a plug for Ghislaine over here, who the camera's on her. Is we've got a little bit of an RSVP issue at the association. I do have to be honest. It's a little frustrating. So I'm gonna go on a rant. This is gonna be Barb's rant, and Ghislaine's gonna be very happy.
Can we hear her talk? Can you talk?
Hi, PWR members.
RSVP and tell us you're coming so we have enough food. And number 2, if you RSVP and you're not going to come, cancel because your credit card will be charged. We cannot guarantee a room of 500 people and have 350 show up, or 500 people and have 600 people show up. It does not work. It does not work. And my God, when did RSVPing become?
Well,
I mean, I deal with it all the time in my own database with my own client parties, but come on, have some courtesy in RSVP.
Good example was yesterday. We had this YPN event, and how many people RSVP'd? Like 30 or 40?
And they had like over 60 people.
And the room was filled, and we ran out of food. So that
we ran
wasn't
out of food
cool.
because 20 people didn't RSVP.
That wasn't cool for the people that did RSVP.
Exactly.
And didn't get to eat food. So
RSVP, and know that we do have a process at the association where your credit card will be charged if you don't show up and you don't cancel. So we make it pretty easy. It starts with free. I don't know how much more simpler that can be. But just have some courtesy and RSVP.
You know what I want for next show? I want poppers, like live with Kelly and Ryan.
Oh,
so at the end
I
watched.
watched.
Throw my card.
I watched an episode of that yesterday. Actually, I was at home for longer than I normally am in the morning, and I just kept thinking, they do trivia. They have like call-ins where you can win a vacation. We need a wheel. We're getting kind of demanding here.
Yeah.
You know that.
I want orange M&Ms sitting in my dressing room when I come in the morning. Just orange with little R's on it.
We do not have a dressing room. When you see me on a live later for my own company, I'll be wearing the exact same thing. We do not have a dressing room.
I know.
Make it sound like we're big dogs or something.
I know.
Anyways, okay, we've gone on way too long.
All right. Well, with that, We are done, and stay classy out there, PWR.
Bye. We're still on. I'm making big eyes. To get to see what we do after.
Day after it's listed, get you a loan, son. Whatever bank you visit, answer your phone, son. This is your boy, Matt Pitt. I'm taking over this market.
Hey everyone, it's Barb with the Live and Barb and Ray Show, and I am here to remind you to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the new PWR videos.